Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stand. Manchester United 1, Newcastle 0. Let me know your comments. What's your thoughts on that? Because it's a mixed bag. I'm seeing people saying Amorim out. I'm seeing people saying winning's all that matters. I'm seeing a lot of dissatisfaction at a Manchester United performance that had 33% possession at Old Trafford. 33% possession at Old Trafford, and we had 11 men on the pitch the whole time. 2 corners, Newcastle had 11. But the biggest stat is, yes, Newcastle deserves something out of the game, but we won. And I would this is what I was saying on Sunday. This is perfect, right? I am over the moon with that. Merry Christmas. 3 points. We're United fans. It's us that suffer, and it's us that deserve moments like this. I couldn't give a shit about Amorim or the players or the owners. It's about us. Sometimes we need something for us. It's Christmas time. We need a present. It's been a hard year. I couldn't give 2 tits about whether we played badly, whether we didn't deserve it or not. It's about winning. And this is what I was moaning about on Sunday. When we lost to Villa, I saw some of you going, stop moaning, Mark. Stop moaning, Mark. You know, we played quite well. We played quite well. I don't care about losing and playing well. I don't care about that. I care about winning. And today, we didn't play well and we won. But we get 3 points. I want to be in Europe next season. I want to feel good when United win. PRV. PRV. Performance, results, vision. No vision, no real performance, but result. And it puts us 5th in the league. So I sort of look at it and I go, you know what? I'll take that this Boxing Day night because I want us to win. And another positive as well is that when you look at the last few games, West Ham at home, we park the bus, we concede. Everton against 10 men, we concede. Bournemouth should have won the game, we concede 4 goals. Villa, we were the better team, we concede 2 goals. Tonight we've kept a bloody clean sheet. Hallelujah! That's got to be worth a like on the video. Can we get a like on the video for a clean sheet? I said at half-time, we're probably going to, if we want to get anything out of this game, we're going to have to keep a clean sheet. And everyone laughed. We've kept a clean sheet. So, look, performance, none. Vision, none. Amorim will discuss. But winning a game like that could be huge for our European hopes. And look, do you want another season? Do you want to be here next Christmas with midweeks off? I don't give a shit if it's the Europa League. We've got to be in Europe. We need more money. We need more games. We've got to be in Europe. And what, you know what? Another positive is, I mean, I'll talk about the negatives, but let's stick with the positives here. It's Christmas. Martinez as captain, superb. Aiden Heaven, superb again. Those 2 were brilliant. Lemens at the back played really, really well. So goalkeeper, Martinez and Heaven, we don't get that result without them. Of course, there's a bit of luck with the blocks. And obviously some people will say it was a handball. I don't think it was. And I do feel that Newcastle were a little bit unlucky. Having said that, that's not my problem. That's not my problem. Did we miss Bruno Fernandes today? I think we needed the clean sheet. I think with or without Bruno Fernandes, we were going to need that clean sheet. So I'm really happy with that result. And I know it wasn't, I mean, that 33% possession at Old Trafford is shit. And I would say that our average possession for the season has got to be below 50% now based on that today. But, you know, for so long, we've heard people say, oh, without Bruno, we're shit. Without Bruno, we're shit. Newcastle are the best team we're going to play over the next few games. Wolves at home, Burnley away, Leeds away, Brighton at home. Newcastle are the best team on paper. And we've just kept a clean sheet and we beat them without Bruno Fernandes. And we didn't fall apart. The head stayed up. The mentality was good. The performance wasn't good, but the mentality was good. I think that's a real, you know, I'm tempted to say fair play to the players because especially some of the players I've named there, I thought there was some maturity in that performance and there was some hard work in that performance. But look, really, honestly though, because I'm not blind, we could have lost that game. We probably should have drawn the game. We could have lost that game. My eyes are wide open to that. And the big thing I would say is that we were definitely better in the first half. I don't think we were, some people were like, it's the best we've ever played. I thought it was quite an equal first half and we probably shaded it. The second half, they were miles better than us and it was backs to the wall. But What I would say about the first half is, and it's probably got me in more of a good mood than I would have been if it wasn't, I just loved the familiarity. You know when you put the telly on at Christmas and Home Alone 2's on? I loved that warm familiarity of Home Alone 2 at Christmas. You know, get me a beer, get the Quality Street out, give me a handful of nuts, Home Alone 2's on. This is Christmas. And when I saw that back four in the first half, I was like, for however long this lasts, that's United for me. The back four, I can see a right back, a left back, two centre backs. Let's play ball. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Now, it worries me. It's not a conversation for tonight. It does worry me because Ruben Amorim is not a back four manager. How is this going to work? Is he going to just abandon it when all the players come back from the AFCON? If he keeps it, why did we appoint a 3-4-3 manager to turn him into a back four? So that's all conversations for another night. But seeing a back four and it not being a back four when we're out of possession or in possession, a definitive back four was lovely to see. It was absolutely lovely to see. And then in the second half, after only 15 minutes, and I will admit this, there's a lot of people saying I don't give a shit, Amorim's crap and all this lot. And get your comments in whether you're watching live or not. I respect that people aren't happy with 33% possession at home. I respect the fact that people are saying he's bloody lucky and it was shit. I respect that. For me, the result's important tonight. But what I will say is, he's very lucky. He's very, very lucky. Because you can have performances like that from Martinez and Heaven and Lamens and Dorgu. You can have those heroic performances. But we got absolutely dominated in the second half. Absolutely dominated. And he had no answer to it at all. In fact, he made it worse. Because with an hour gone, he took Casemiro off. And we basically became a back six at times. It was still technically a back four. You could see it. Shaw, Yoro was right back, Heaven and Martinez. But it also became Dorgu and Delo. And it became a back six. And then it became Fletcher in the midfield next to Ugarte instead of Casemiro. And I couldn't get my head around that. Because I was like, Casemiro's good in the air. And he didn't play the last game. So why is he coming off after an hour? I could, and it invited more. I mean, look. As soon as he did that, Lewis Hall hit the bar. It was a worldie. If that had gone in, it would have been instantaneously from him going from a settled back four to some confused shit. And it was confused. It was chaotic. It was blocks. It was bad misses. It was hitting the bar. They should have done better. Newcastle missed good chances. I'm not lying. And we were chaotic. And his changes were chaotic. And even with 5 minutes to go, he takes Martinez and Shaw off and brings on two kids, well, Malacia and Fredrickson. And I go, why? Why would you take Martinez and Shaw off with 5 minutes to go? There's no computer or laptop or injury that's going to make any difference for 5 minutes. And I thought, what is he doing? Somebody in the chat even said, is he actually trying to get sacked? So, look, some of his substitutions in the second half were weird. But what I would take the positive from, and I'm a late transformer to this, and I will give credit to every one of you. I don't think Ruben Amorim should transform from a 3-4-3 coach to a 4-3-3 coach, because that's not what he is. That's not what we bought him here for. I think he should be true to what he is, and if he gets the sack, he gets the sack because they didn't back him or whatever. I don't think he should go to a back four because that's not who he is. And what he's basically doing is bowing down to Carragher and Neville and you and everybody else who say you should play a back four when he's not a back four coach. I don't agree with him going to a back four coach. But the reason I don't agree with it is because if he does it, we don't want to go back. And now he's done it. Even I don't think he should have done it. I think he should stick to what he is because that's who you are. But now I've seen that back four, I'm like, mate, you've got to stick with that. You've proved us right. You've literally proved us right in the first half. And I don't care whether it's for Christmas. It's like a fucking puppy. The back four's for, the back four's not just for Christmas. It's for life. Don't just give it as for Christmas. So I'm looking at this back four now and I'm going, you've really made a rod for your own back because I don't want you to go back to a 3-4-3 now. You've given us a glimpse of something I like. I liked the back four in the first half. I don't want him to go back. But I will put my hands up and say I didn't want him to change it in the first place because I knew this had happened. I knew this would happen. And I don't like I don't like the changes. I don't like what he did in the second half. We're at Old Trafford and you're parking the fucking bus with a back six and 33% possession and you're taking Casemiro off. And I don't know what's going on, but in the first half, I understood it. I understood the back four. I thought we were more comfortable. I think Agate's had his best game all season with a back four. You know, Martinez and Heaven looked better as a centre-back pairing than we've looked all season with three. We looked more solid with a centre-back pairing than we do with three. So everybody seemed to understand their job. And then in the second half, he reverts back to old Amorim. And I think this is going to... He's won a game of football here, and I don't want to move away from that. We've beaten Newcastle. It's a big 3 points, and that's what should put a smile on your face tonight. But there's going to be a bigger conversation because I don't want to see a 3-4-3 anymore. And, you know, Paul Scholes and JB Carragher, they're not going to shut up about it. They haven't been shutting up about it anyway. You're not going to shut up about it. And now, to be honest, I'm not going to shut up about it. I want to see a back four. I think we're better with it. But will we see it? I don't know. I don't know. But look, this season is one of those seasons. You know, I think sometimes when you're negative, and I'm a moaner negative when we don't get a result. I hate it. I hate it when we lose. That's the dip of the roller coaster. Today, we're rising again. It's a win against Newcastle, deserved or not. There'll be games where we deserve to win and we lose. There'll be games where we deserve to win and we draw. There'll be games where we deserve to lose and we draw. Spurs. So it's just the roller coaster of this season. I just hope we can get European football. That's what my hope is for this season. And when we win games like this and, you know, 3 points on Tuesday against Wolves, surely we get 3 points against Wolves. And then Burnley Leeds, hopefully we get another couple of, you know, you give yourself a real impetus then to, I think some of our fans actually just want us to fail. But I don't think they understand what that failure is. We have to get into Europe and we have to be in that race. I completely concur with a lot of things people are saying, but that's the most important thing for me. So look, the back four in the first half was a big win. I want to see more of it. Martinez and Heaven and Lemens, I thought played well, very, very well. I liked Cunha and Dorgu in the first half. I think they got swallowed up in a shit performance in the second half. I mean, look, Dorgu and Cunha are going to struggle in a team that's got 33% possession. In the first half, I think at half-time, we were 46% possession. And in the second half, it was 33% possession. So, you know, you're going to struggle as an attacker when you're just defending. But, and also as well, can I just give Amorim some credit? I wanted to see Martinez and Casemiro in that midfield. And he put Martinez at centre-back with Heaven, and he put Agate in the midfield instead. And it worked. And people will say, only because Newcastle wasted their chances. But Martinez was arguably man of the match. So it did work. And I think if we're going to be critical, and this is where I always say this, sometimes you're very, like after Villa, I was very, very pissed off because we lost. And people were like, oh, but we played well. I don't give a shit. That's just who I am. I want to win. But there'll be a lot of people tonight going, oh, shut up. I'm not convinced, this, that, and the other. But I'm a firm believer that when credit is due, it should be given. Otherwise, it is just agenda. And I don't take anything out of the Villa game. We lost. We were naive and we lost. Today, I think we could have lost 3-1, but we've won 1-0. So I'll find the positives because the 3 points are all that matters at the moment. We are playing survival football. So you can't argue about 3 points when we're playing survival football. I don't know what the vision is, and I don't know what the performance is all about. It wasn't a good performance, and I don't know what the vision is. I mean, you know, what was the style of play today? Definitively counter-attacking. I've seen this under Ollie. It was literally park the bus and counter. The goal was a very good goal, but it's a clearance. Some people want to give Delo the assist for the long throw-in. It's Voltemeda who heads it out. It's a moment. I mean, this is Ollie ball today, but it's not been Ollie ball all season, and it might not be Ollie ball next week. But I can't see a vision, because if the vision was anything, it would be, you know, rely on a moment of brilliance and rely on keeping a clean sheet. But that's not how we've played all season, to be fair. That's just tonight. So take the 3 points and move. Who would you rather be? Would you rather be Newcastle, who've played really well and deserved to win, but lost? Or Man United, who've scored a worldie, kept a clean sheet, not really doing anything else, but won. I'll be Man United every day. I'll be Man United every day. Let me get some of your comments in, and then we're going to do the 8 p.m. kickoff. I don't know what that's all about. I don't know why that's on there. Let me change that. We'll go through player ratings. Make sure you register for that. Links in the description. But let me change the headline because that should be paused on that. Get rid of those. I just want to grab some of your comments because there's some good ones coming in that I've seen and I don't want to miss them. So let me go through. Good defensive performance, which has lacked recently. Completely agree with that, big man. Great win, big 3 points, but Xerxes is an embarrassment to the shirt, says Sam. Look, it's very difficult when you've got 33% possession to do anything, but he looked off the pace and he looked like a player that doesn't know whether he's wanted. And whose fault is that? I'm not going to slag Xerxes off because I like him, but we were literally going to sell him, and now we're probably saying you're not going anywhere. It's hard when you're being treated like that. It's the same for Menu. If we'd got Semenyo, he'd be sold. Now we haven't got Semenyo, you're staying. And he's probably just a little bit confused, you know? Thomas, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. Mark, he clearly tried his best to ruin the game with his second half management, says D. I mean, I don't know about that, pal. The second half felt like sabotage, but we won. Well, this is obviously a catching theme. A lot of people think he sabotaged it on purpose in the second half. What I would say is I don't understand the Casemiro substitution. And I also don't understand why you'd take Martinez and Shaw off with 5 minutes to go. It did, but we got the job done. But it was strange. It was strange, I'll admit. I was expecting us to get outrun in the midfield. I was impressed how we controlled the midfield in the first half. When adjustments were made in the second half, we looked lost. I mean, I wouldn't go that far, Shadow. I think it was a 50-50 game in the first half, and in the second half they dominated us. But look, you know. We're splitting hairs. I thought in the first half it was nice to see the back four, as I said. Team showed a lot of fight, at least 5 starters missing, and the makeshift team got 3 points. That's all that matters, says Jordan. I'm happy for our young players, especially Dorgu and Heaven, says John. Look, I think with Dorgu tonight, we saw an example of why I don't slag young players off very often, because they're prospects. A lot of people were getting on about Sesko. A lot of people have been calling Dorgu and Yoro shit. But, like, we don't nurture players, we don't look after players, and we're not patient with players. Dorgu goes to right wing, has a really good game and scores a great goal, and everyone's like, oh, I like him again. And it's like, this is exactly what being a young player is. You have good games, you have bad games. Our job is to, you know, don't hate the game, hate the player. And the player is the coach, it's the recruitment, it's the club. You know, these are potentially good players. They're just being thrown into situations which are a nightmare. Do you think Fletcher's substitution was pre-planned from the beginning? The cameras were showing his parents and then they captured the moment he was subbed. It felt like they were waiting for it, says Kev. No, I don't want to talk about Mason Mount. Let's wait and see what the issue is. I felt we missed him in the second half, but I'm telling you now, how can you do anything with a player that is that fragile? Like, he's a good player and he had a good first half, but he's off at half time. How many injuries has he had this season already? How many knocks has he had already this season? It's so frustrating. The low long throw for the win, says Lucho. Bruno didn't lose his man today, says Fix. You jinxed the result with Robbie on That's Football. Cheers, Mark, says Monkey. Yeah, and he didn't get it right either because he went for a draw. So, yeah, very happy. Mojo says, Merry Christmas. Mojo, you're a legend. Lovely to hear from you. Hope you've had a great Christmas too. Multiple times, Amorim has coached a win and the players let us down. Today, Amorim coached a loss and the players finally dug in. So stressed, says Senor. Good point. Well made. Marlowe says, much better defensive structure without Bruno and with Martinez as captain. But my God, Delo should retire. Dorgu, though, what a player. Lovely stuff, Marlowe. We won. It gave us points. I don't care how, as long as we win, but it cannot be the underlying factor. Shout to the defence today and the team, says the Moose one. I think what we've got to do over the next few games is win all 3 and give ourselves a bit of a buffer, because people talk about Ahmad and Mbeumo and Bruno coming back. We've got Man City and Arsenal when they come back. They could both be losses. So I couldn't give a shit about this whole Ahmad, Mbeumo, Mazraoui, Bruno bollocks. I care about winning the next 3 games. And I don't care if we do it playing like that. Just get 9 points in the bank, give a bit of breathing space, occupy those top 5 positions, because the bad performances are going to come again, aren't they? So I just think, couldn't give a shit about this when Bruno's back bollocks. we've got tough games coming up in January and the rest of the season. We've got to go Newcastle, etc. So let's just win the next 3 games and get some points on the board. Mojo, thank you very much. He's gifted 50 memberships. The guy is a legend. Golden Boy Wazza says, important win, huge 3 points. Really pisses me off from Amorim is every single time we take the lead, he parks the bus. I think that is a great point. I don't like being 1-0 up. I don't like being 2-1 up. I don't like it when we're 1 goal up because he just shuts down. And we're not good enough to do it, although today we did. No vision, Mark. Amorim is clearly showing his ability to adapt as well as using more youth, maturity in difficult moments. I think there is a vision. I'll leave you to the chat on that, Huncho. If you think that was a vision, then bloody hell, you need to get yourself a pair of these. Give me Bournemouth 4-4 over that shite every week, says Gaz. No, give me fucking 3 points, mate. We're not bloody Stoke. I don't rate Amorim, but the players are definitely behind him. First half, we were decent, but as soon as Mount went off, we lost control. Big 3 points, says Arims. Players stepped up and Amorim nearly coached for a draw. Tactical insecurity still is calling card. Unconvinced he's the future. Martinez, Heaven and Dorgu were very good, says Kiefel. I can't make fun of Arsenal and their football anymore after tonight, says CV Guy. If people aren't happy about beating Champions League team, clean sheet with an injury-struck team, they need to go and find another club to support, says Josh. I mean, I've got to be honest, like I'm very positive about the win, and I've said that in the first few minutes, but I'm also going to be balanced. What's this injury-hit team bollocks? Bruno Fernandes is injured. Mainu is injured. We've still got 2 midfielders. We didn't buy a midfielder in the summer. Maguire's been injured a lot for the last 2 years, and De Ligt's injured. We've still got Martinez. We've still got Yoro. We've still got Heaven. We've still got Luke Shaw. And the players that are at the AFCON, we knew that in the summer. So we should have a squad capable of performing a little bit better than that tonight. But ultimately, let's not make excuses for winning. We won the game. You either see the negative or the positive, but we won the game. Daniel's happy for once. Thank you very much. Our midfield was better in the first half. 2 kids on the pitch second half. Poor Dorgu's face. Merry Christmas, says Ben. We were without 7 starters. To be fair, what do people expect, says Matthew. See, I don't agree with this. I think you're the people when we lost to Villa, you were going, well, I'm very happy with it because we played well. I don't agree with this without 7 starters bollocks. Because when all those players are there, we'll still lose to Brentford. Don't confuse the issue. It's a good 3 points, and that's all that matters. But stop trying to justify that if we had everybody back, we'd still win the game. I could see us losing that game with Bruno, with De Ligt, with Maguire, with Mbeumo, with Ahmad. We lost to fucking Brentford. We lost to 10-men Everton with most of those players. So let's not pretend that the injuries are a big deal. Like, Arsenal have had injuries. Other teams have injuries. You have to deal with injuries. I think we're doing a disservice. We won the fucking game. We won the game without those players. And with those players, we've lost to bloody Brentford and Everton. So, you know, Heaven was good. Martinez was good. Amorim, whatever. Amorim with those players, without those players, can fuck it up. We know that. But we didn't fuck up. We won. Don't make excuses for winning. Like, we won. It's easy. We needed it. Exactly, hell. Mojo's gifted another 50 memberships. You're a legend. Mark, we are not at win now. We need progress more than wins. We need transfer windows. This is progress, and that needs to shine the most, says Niall. Mark, Ferguson used to make unorthodox decisions and win games. Amorim tonight took a huge gamble against a decent side, and we won. I'll back Amorim, says Eddie Mack. Same XG, by the way, says Rory. Don't care about XG. With Mount gone and no attacking Cam on the pitch, do you think Amorim managed the game well to get the win, or was he taking too much risk? I've said everything I need to say, Krish. I thought we were lucky, but I'd rather be lucky and win than unlucky and lose. Amorim near Costa's second half. I'm baffled, says Thomas. How big of an upgrade is Lemens? Huge. Very happy with him, Man United Lou. Really needed the win. You tell you what I liked about Lemens the most was then they did that big long diagonal and he ran for ages to catch it. And I thought, you know what? People will just see that as a catch by the goalkeeper, but it's how far he runs to get it. It kills an attack. It kills minutes. It gives confidence to the defence. Really needed the win. Come on, United. Concerned about Mount, though, says that United. I mean, look, it would be completely thick if he took him off at half-time for tactics, but I hope he did, because if he's injured, it's another player out probably for a couple of weeks. So no Bruno, no Mount, no Ahmad, no Mount. Mbeumo. So look, fingers crossed. It was tactical, but you know, Mount's been a good player for us this season when he's fit. The problem is he's never fit. Might just be like Ten Hag to get results to survive, Mark, says Alonso. Everyone complains that we can't defend, and for once we defended well, says Jerry. Sesko needs full 90. He and Cunha need more time together, and seems the spaces Sesko tries to be in are the same spaces Cunha runs towards, says Fear of God. I'm glad we won, but why the hell did he bring Casemiro off? Casemiro looked absolutely confused, Ollie, and I think that's what everybody saw. He was stunned by it. He didn't play against Villa. He wasn't injured. And I think he was very, very surprised. I think we all were very surprised. But we've won the game, so I think there was a lot of things that would have gone against Amorim. You know, like I said, Hall hit the bar within a minute of that tactical change. I can imagine the meltdown. I'm glad we avoided it. It's not like he had a yellow card either. So going back to a 5-5 literally invited the pressure. Mark, you've adopted the sensationalism, says Pizza. I don't think we've been sensationalist at all. Maybe he did what he did to win, like Spurs, says Krish. Max has gifted a membership. Thank you, Max. I'm so happy we won. Merry Christmas, says Poochie. Merry Christmas, pal. This team really needs Sesko. He's not scoring many goals, but without him, we're bad. Weird substitutions. If Casemiro can't manage 60 minutes, he needs to be replaced. He can. I think it was a tactical switch. I just don't really understand it. Aman, welcome to the Members Club. Thanks for getting your badge in. Don't forget, Newcastle were full strength. They will be looking at themselves in the mirror right now. 3 points I'm very proud of. And will Ahmad and Mbeumo be back for Man City, says Dante. I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to keep an eye on the AFCON and try and start figuring it out, but they're still in the group stage at the moment. Let's do the player ratings because Bay says, I think that Agate was all right. Look, it's Christmas time. We've took 3 points against Newcastle. Just remember, Player FC, Manager FC, and fucking whoever's Glazer FC or Ineos FC needs help. They're not Man United. Man United is why you support them. Manchester United is something separate. You know, it's not owned by the Glazers. It's not about players. It's not about the manager. We just won a game of football at Christmas. We've got a chance of getting into Europe. The reality is we might not be good enough and we might not do it, but the dream is alive. You know, we're going into the new year with a bit of hope. And, you know, we might not buy anybody in January. We might fuck it up in February, but we've got some hope. And I think sometimes we get so lost in the negativity that gets piled upon us by managers and players and owners. But fundamentally, none of them own our love for Manchester United, and we've got something to cling on to here. Do I trust these players? No. Do I trust the manager? No. Do I trust the owners? God, no. But I love Man United winning, and it's a big 3 points. It kills Newcastle as well because when you look at I'm looking at the top 6 now, and realistically, I don't think Sunderland will finish above us. I don't think Palace or Brighton will finish above us. And we're 6 points ahead of Newcastle, and God knows where Spurs are. So you can already look at it and go, all right, Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea, maybe Villa, maybe Liverpool, us. That still puts us in the Europa League. And maybe one of those teams like Villa or Chelsea or Liverpool will slip out. So we've got a chance of the Champions League, but we're also very good for 6th now. So I'll take that. We've got to be in Europe next season in some way, shape or form. Daniel says, did Amorim put out Yoro, Fredrickson, Heaven and Malacia to prove a point? The back four still works. The players want this, still kept the clean sheet. I don't know what he was playing at, mate, but we won the game. Let's do player ratings. So I haven't enjoyed player ratings for a while. I'll be honest with you. You might have picked up on that, but here we go. I think Lemons was a 7. I was very happy with him. Very happy with him. As I said, made some good saves, made some good claims. It was a very composed performance, and you need that in a game like that where you're under a lot of pressure. Delo, probably give him a 6. He should have fucking scored. I don't know whether anybody else did it, but Sesko had gone off 10 minutes before. And I went, Sesko, he's got to score that. It was bloody Delo. I don't know why. But look, I just don't think fundamentally he's a very good footballer. I think he's very average. And there are moments of good and there are moments of bad, but they kept getting in down that right-hand side all game. It was our weakest area. And but I'll give him a 6. He works hard. He plays for the badge. The question is whether he should be playing for the badge. Aidan Heaven, I thought, was fantastic. 7.5 for me. I've been really impressed with him over the last few weeks. I don't think he's really put a foot wrong. He's the youngest of the defenders we have. And I just think he's been a breath of fresh air. I thought he was fantastic today. Clean sheet is always your goal as a defender. 7.5, very good. Could be man of the match contender. And, you know, I can't split them really. 7.5 for Martinez as well. Not played football for a very long time. You know, when he went down after the handball, I was like, oh my God, oh my Christ, please not a knee or a foot or anything else. I think that's my biggest concern about Martinez. I have no fear about the player at all. We've seen enough of the player. I know what he is as a leader. I know how composed he is. I know his aggression. People moan about his height. I'm not bothered about that. My biggest fear about Martinez is there another bad injury? Or is he going to be one of those players that just gets plagued by injuries? Or is he going to come through this and just get back and never get injured again? And I'm just so hopeful that that's going to happen because I thought he was fantastic today. And I am going to give him man of the match because he was the captain as well. You know, we've kept a clean sheet and we beat a good Newcastle side. Whether we deserved it or not, whether it was a good performance or not, we have. And the players did play for the badge and they did play for the manager. Whether it was good or not, they did. They concentrated, they focused, and, you know, he was the captain and there was no Bruno Fernandes at all. I mean, somebody even said, I can't give you the answer to this. Somebody even said, if you put Bruno on that pitch, I think we would have lost. I think it's very unfair. It's very unfair to say that. But if you put Bruno on that pitch instead of Agate, maybe we do lose. Maybe we draw. Maybe we win 2-0. I don't know. But the fact that people would even think that is a testament to the fact that we did it without Bruno. And I think that's the big thing. Luke Shaw was probably a 6.5, to be fair. I do think that it's going to be very interesting how many games he could play left back. Because he definitely isn't the player he used to be. He can't get up and down as much as he used to. But, you know, if we had Luke Shaw of 3 years ago, I think we'd be sorted at left back. Agate, look, I'll give him some credit, 6.5. You know, he's had a lot of stick. Ultimately, I don't think he's good enough. I think we need an upgrade. But where we are at the moment, we've got no Mainu, we've got no Bruno. He certainly didn't do anything bad. So, you know, 6.5 for me. Casemiro was probably a 6, mainly because he came off early. I thought he was doing okay, but, you know, the substitution was very, very early, as we've discussed. Mason Mount, I'd probably give him a 6.5. I thought he was good in the first half, but off at half-time. Very disappointing, but, you know, we did miss him in the second half, certainly. Dorgu, 7.5, and you've given him 7.8, so that's the highest score. So maybe that's a hint about who the man of the match is going to be. Match winner, very good performance, very hard working. He won a lot of corners as well. Defensively, he got injured a few times. So a very good performance for him. Very pleased for him as well. I think he's got great potential, but we need to remember that's what it is. It's prospect, isn't it? Cunha first half was fantastic. Second half, it was challenging. So I'd probably give him a 7. Sesko, tough game. Tough game. He did more good stuff than people want to let on. Some of his hold-up play was good, but yeah, I'd probably give him a 6. Yoro did okay when he came on. 6. Not really on. 6. Not really on. 6. I'll be honest. I didn't notice him much in the game. But I'm never going to give a young player a low score. I'll give him a 6 because who else could do it? You know, who else can do that role? I don't think he was bad. I just think it was a hard game to come into. Newcastle are up for it. They're intense. They dominated us. But I'll tell you one thing. If he'd have had a shit game, we would have lost. You've still got to be 11 players. You've still got to defend. You've still got to work. You've still got to, you know, be compact. And he was part of that. So, yeah, played an important part. Xerxes, probably a 5. Yeah, he was ineffective, but graveyard shift, whatever. But he just didn't look like he was... I've seen Xerxes come on before, and he's all action. He's 100%. He just didn't... I don't know whether he's carrying a knock. He just didn't look focused. He didn't look on it. And I just wonder whether this is just because of all the Semenyo stuff. I don't know. Amorim today, I mean, bloody hell. This is the one I'm sort of concerned about. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to look at the chat because I'm not that guy. I don't want to get influenced by you lot and see what you're saying before I say what I'm saying. So I'm going to look here. Look, he's won the game, so you've got to start with a 7. His substitutions were strange. I'm going to give him a 6. I'm going to give him a 6, yeah. I'll give him a 6. Oh, there we go. We're about right. I think with Amorim, you know, the worst thing he's done is not the subs. The worst thing he's done is go to a back 4. Because now I'm like, you need to stick with the back 4, mate. But you're not a back 4 manager, and you've basically abandoned what you were brought here to do, which massively undermines you, really. But I think he's got to stick with the back 4. And if he doesn't, I don't know. It's more for tomorrow to discuss. I don't know how this is going to pan out, because if he's going to go back to the 3-4-3 and we start losing again, it's just going to cause a massive amount of issues. So I think he's got to stick with the back 4. But then when the players come back, I was looking at this. Okay, you can put Ahmad on the left and Mbeumo on the right, and you can play Cunha with Sesko. But then you've got to put Bruno in a midfield too with a back 4. You will never do that. So I don't even think this will last, but that's a bigger conversation. The main thing is 3 points tonight. 72% with Dorgu, man of the match. Make sure you smash a like on the video if you agree with that one. I'm more than happy with that. I gave it Martinez, but I'm more happy with that. I'm more than happy with that. Let's get over to the fan forum. So they're ready to go, and I'm very interested to see what they've got to say, because obviously Beth was at the game as well. So let's have a look what they've got to say. But I've definitely got something to spam their chat with, and that is 100%. And please do leave your comments, because I do read the match reactions one. I really want to know what your thoughts are, because it's a bit of a mixed bag. But for me, as I said everything I wanted to say in the first few minutes, and the win is all that matters. Stick to back 4. Spam the live chat. Stick to back 4. I'm back at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Smash a like on the video and subscribe. What day is it tomorrow, by the way? I mean, I'm completely lost now. Christmas Day was yesterday, Boxing Day. Saturday tomorrow. Okay, lovely. Okay, stick to back 4 in the live chat on the fan forum. Let's get over there.